This is a special report.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Wanda Wood Duck, reporting to you from Shangri-La Botanical Gardens and Nature Center. Today, we are going to be out and about across all of the gardens looking for the creatures that live here. We're in luck. We found our first animal of the day. What kind of animal are you?
I'm a bird.
A bird? And what is special about birds?
Well, birds have feathers. No other animal has them. And we have a backbone, and we have a spinal cord, and we lay eggs.
Oh, wow! I think I knew some of those facts about birds. But not all birds look the same. So what's your name?
My name is Egret.
Egret. Now you've got some beautiful toes. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, I can. These are wading feet. I wade in the water so that I can find food to eat. And I have this long beak that I spear the fish and whatever else I can find in the water.
Now I've seen you about sometimes, I think. What kind of places do you like to live?
I like to live here at Shangri-La especially because they have trees, they have water, and it's just fun, and nobody tries to hunt us.
Oh, that's very important. I've brought my feather collection today. Would you be able to tell us about these feathers?
Yes, but I must tell you that you cannot do that. You can't collect feathers because it's illegal.
Well, illegal? I just picked them up from the ground.
Well, they are under law. You have to have permission to do that. And at Shangri-La, we have a person that's named Miss Katie, and she has permission. She has permission to do it, so you'd have to speak to her.
Okay, well, we'll look for Miss Katie a little bit later in the afternoon. I can't wait to hear about these feathers.
There are 3 kinds of feathers. There's the contour feather from the body of the shape of the body of the bird. It gives the bird color, and it protects the birds from rain, wind, sunlight, and physical objects. Now there's the semi-plume feather, sort of a hybrid between a contour and a down feather. It's hidden underneath the contour feathers. It usually is lighter in color. It helps to provide insulation and flexibility in the shoulders of the bird. The last one is the down feather. Down feathers are hidden underneath all of the other feathers. They're used for insulation like your underwear. These feathers are soft and fluffy. Each feather has a rachis and soft head of fluffy barbs that cannot be zipped together.
What an interesting noise. Excuse me. Oh, hello.
Hello?
I think, are you a bird?
I certainly am.
You look like it. You have feathers. We just learned that. What kind of bird are you?
Well, if you can tell, I am a woodpecker. Did you see what I was doing?
Now, you were pecking at the wood. What for?
Well, I put my little ear close to the bark of a tree, and I can hear an insect crawling around under that bark. And so I peck with my very strong drill-like beak, and that's my lunch.
How do you get the insects from the holes in the wood?
Well, that's interesting. I have a very, very long tongue, and it's sticky, and it has a little spear at the end, so I can spear it, or the insects can stick on my tongue. And then I curl that tongue up, and there's my lunch.
That is amazing. I also noticed that you were not perched on a branch, just directly on the trunk. So how do you stay on without falling off?
That is a nice little habit that I have, and also an adaptation that I have, because I have 2 toes in the front, 2 toes in the back. I can lean back on those back toes, and I don't fall off the tree trunk.
Wow. Now I have one more question for you. Doesn't all of that woodpecking give you a headache?
It should, but guess what? Nature provided me with an extra thick skull. It's like a shock absorber. So when I drill, it doesn't hurt my little brain at all.
Wow. Thanks so much for talking with us today.
Oh, I hear a bug under the bark. I'm hungry. Goodbye.
All right, we'll see you later. We're out here at Shangri-La Gardens, and by the looks of all these feathers, I think we found another bird. Are you a bird?
Why, yes, I am. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Now, what is your name?
I'm Christopher the Cardinal.
Oh, a cardinal! I think I've seen a couple cardinals before. Now, we got a good look at the woodpecker's feet. Yours look a little bit different. Can you tell us about that?
They're very different. See? I've got 3 toes in the front and 1 toe in the back. And that's because I barely have any nerves in my tiny feet, so that way I can perch on branches for long periods of time.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, you also have a very interesting beak. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I have a very strong, perfect beak. It's cone-shaped and perfectly shaped so I can crunch up nuts and bird seeds.
Now, Cardinal, I have one last question for you. Are all cardinals bright red just like you?
Oh, absolutely not. Only the male cardinals are bright red. The female cardinals are brown all over with just a teeny little bit of warmish red tones on their body.
Oh, you mean like that one over there?
Yes, excuse me, I must go.
All right, well, thanks for talking with us, Cardinal. Okay, folks, we have an extra special guest with us here today, wildlife curator Robert Morgan. Robert, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
Excellent. Now, it looks like you have a creature in your hands. What kind of animal is this?
This is a Gulf Coast toad.
A Gulf Coast toad? Now, what kind of category of animal is a toad?
It's an amphibian.
An amphibian. Now, what makes amphibians special?
Well, they're tetrapods, meaning they have 4 limbs. They live part of their life in water and on land, and they're also cold-blooded.
Ooh, that's a lot different than the birds we just learned about. Now, Robert, I have one more question for you. How did you go about catching this toad?
Well, toads spend most of the day under a log or a rock, and they come out at night. So I found this guy under a cement slab.
Wow, that's a lot that we just learned about amphibians. Robert, I hope we'll see you a little bit later today, maybe with some more creatures. I really enjoyed learning about amphibians, but now I've encountered another animal, and this one is furry. What is your name?
Why, I'm a beaver, can't you tell?
Well, I've never met a beaver before.
Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Now, what kind of animal are you?
Why, I'm the same kind as you. I'm a mammal, don't you know that? Mammals give live births, and you know what? We have special features that let us feed, the mamas feed the babies milk, called mammary glands. That's where we get our name mammal. And not only that, but we have all this neat fur. Well, you don't have as neat a fur as
Yes, I do.
Well, all I see are little wisps over your eyes and some on top of your head. You're not full of fur like me.
What makes your fur special? Tell me more about it.
Oh, it helps me be waterproof, and I don't get cold. I bet you get cold in the winter.
do.
Oh, my goodness. Would you like to touch my fur?
I would, yes.
Whoa, tingle, tingle, tingle. Wait. Let me tell you about it.
Okay.
I have 3 kinds of fur. The stuff on the top helps me with my camouflage color, but it's long and silky. It's called guard hair. And then if you look way down below, I have crimped little soft fur called down hair. And oh, and it keeps me so warm. It's almost like underwear. It feels so good. And then I have hair in the middle called on hair. And it just kind of fits in between the guard hair, which gives me my camouflage color, and the down hair, which keeps me so warm and waterproof. Would you like a piece of my stick? I've been eating it. It is so good. Would you like to taste it?
You've been eating this stick?
It's my favorite food. What, don't you eat it?
No, I don't think my dentist would like it very much if I ate sticks like this.
Oh, you poor thing. Look at your teeth. See my beautiful orange chisel-like teeth? I can take a tree down real quickly, but with your little teeny tiny choppers, you probably can't even take down a little stick.
No, I cannot. Now, do you know of any other mammals around here that we could learn about?
Well, you know, I'm a foundation species, so when I build a pond by damming up a river, everybody moves in. And one of my favorite friends, I think I see one of my favorite friends. Hey, River Otter, come on over and meet this reporter.
Hi, how are you doing?
A river otter. Now, are you a mammal too?
Yes, I am.
You.
I'm a river otter. And I have mammary glands too, and nice fur.
Yeah. Now, you look a lot like the beaver to me. So what makes you different?
Well, I have these webbed feet.
I got webbed feet too. I got webbed feet.
You do? Oh, okay. And then I have this long torpedo body that helps me glide through the water.
Wow.
And I have slightly flattened tail. See my tail? You know my tail? And it, you have a tail too. I do. Our tails are different. Mine helps me go through the water.
Mine helps me do that too, but you know what? I can slap the water really hard when there's a danger around, and everybody can run away that's out there in my pond that I built.
Oh, okay.
All right, river otter, I have one more question for you. Do you also eat sticks?
No, I don't. I like fish and I like oysters, and you know, I can't see very well above the water, but I can see better underwater, and I can also use these cool whiskers that I have here. Can you see my whiskers? And I feel underwater in the dark murky water. I can feel to eat oysters and crawfish and even frogs and turtles. Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't eat sticks.
So I'm a herbivore and you're a carnivore.
I'm a carnivore. That's
Oh, my.
And you're still friends.
right.
Yes, we are. We're good friends.
What was that? We gotta look for what made that noise. Did you make that noise?
No.
So you weren't just in the garbage can just now.
Nope.
Then why do you have this wrapper in your fur?
That's my lucky wrapper, and you can't prove that I was in the garbage can because raccoons don't have fingerprints.
Oh, I never knew that. Now, you said you're a raccoon, is that right?
Yes.
You look similar to the beaver and the river otter with your fur. Are you a mammal too?
Yes, I sure am.
Now, do you usually just eat garbage, or what other kinds of foods do you like to eat?
Well, I'm an omnivore, so I enjoy eating vegetation and meat and, garbage occasionally.
Oh, so omnivore will eat everything. The beaver was an herbivore, it just ate sticks and plants. And the river otter was a carnivore, eating fish and crawfish and meat. Huh. Now, I heard a rumor that raccoons wash their food before they eat it. Is that right?
No, everybody always thinks I'm washing my food. See, since I don't have fingerprints in my hands, I like to dip my food into water because it helps activate the nerves in my fingers. So that way I can tell the difference of when I'm eating spaghetti noodles or birdseed.
Wow, that is awfully interesting. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us today, raccoon?
No, I'm actually really tired. I think I'm gonna go take a nap because normally I sleep all day.
Well, thanks for spending some time with us today, raccoon. Have a nice nap.
Goodbye.
We're back out here at the Pond of the Blue Moon with wildlife curator Robert Morgan. He has another animal for us to look at. It's not a bird, amphibian, or a mammal, What kind of animal do you have now?
This is a reptile.
A reptile? What is special about those?
They're cold-blooded like amphibians, but they have scales.
Now I'm getting a little nervous being close to this reptile. That red color makes me think it's dangerous. How are you holding it?
Well, this is a non-venomous snake. The pattern is different from the coral snake, which you think it is.
Okay, well, you are one brave guy. I think Robert has a couple more snakes to show us. Robert, you've got another snake now. What kind is this one?
This is a coastal ribbon snake.
A coastal ribbon snake. Now it's awfully small. Is this an adult snake?
I would say this is maybe 2 to 3 years old, so it's still a juvenile.
A juvenile. Now in my research, I've learned that reptile babies look just like the adults. Is that right?
That is correct.
Now Robert has one more snake today. What kind of snake is this?
This is a tan racer.
A tan racer. This snake looks a little bit more lively. Are you afraid that he might bite you?
No, he has little tiny teeth that won't hurt too much.
Is this snake venomous or non-venomous?
It's non-venomous.
Do you have any extra fun facts about the tan racer for you to share with us?
They're extremely fast.
Extremely fast. I wonder if I could outrun him. Now, one last question for you today, Robert. We've seen a lot of snakes that are reptiles, but are there other kinds of reptiles?
Alligators, lizards, turtles.
You have it. Alligators, lizards, turtles, and snakes are our reptiles. Thank you, Robert. We're here with Katie Krantz, Director of Education and Volunteer Programs at Shangri-La Gardens. How are you today, Katie?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for visiting us.
We have had such an excellent time out at the gardens exploring nature and discovering the different creature features that animals have. I even learned today that the feather collection that I brought along was not allowed. Is that right?
That is right. Under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act of 1918, it's actually illegal on the federal level to collect feathers that you find out in nature. Now, this excludes birds such as turkeys or grouse, things that are hunted for game, but a lot of the birds that you met today, that great egret, the pileated woodpecker, even that cardinal, all of their feathers are protected under this act.
Well, now, I just picked them up on a hike. I didn't hurt any of these birds. Why is it not allowed for me to keep them?
Well, historically, individuals really wanted to have those beautiful bird feathers decorating their hats, on their fancy dresses. So what would happen is people would hunt these birds only for their feathers. And it actually took a lot of species almost to the brink of extinction. So we don't want that to happen again. And so the reason being is that you might not have hurt that bird to get those feathers. You may have just found them. But we can't prove that. And so in order to keep everything fair and everyone honest, you can't keep those bird feathers. You cannot collect them.
Okay, so when I find feathers, what should I do with them?
You should just leave them where they are. Let Mother Nature, other creatures might want to use them perhaps to build a nest.
That's great advice. So if you find a feather, leave it where it is to let Mother Nature take its course. Now I understand that Shangri-La Gardens has a permit. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We do. We actually have permits both on the federal level as well as the state level that allow us to collect things like bird feathers, maybe some bird bones from a bird that, you know, has become decayed, that we might want to use them for educational purposes in the future. And they also allow us to display animals. You met our wildlife curator, Robert Morgan. He works under these permits. And in order to display something that he catches in the wild so that you can see it, you have to have a permit.
Well, all right. Thank you so much, Katie, for your time today. We've had an excellent adventure at Shangri-La Gardens. This is Wanda Wood Duck signing off.